Alright everybody, I've been saying I was gonna make a video where I'm actually painting and talking over it instead of the little fast spray sessions that I do. A lot of them are experimental. Tonight I'm gonna try it different. I'm gonna try to paint it while I'm talking, and I already got it primed, and I'm gonna put some Wicked Createx Pearl White in the gun, and we're gonna go with that for the first coat. Put a little bit more in there because I'm going to do a second coat of the white. That's what we got going on now, this pearl white body. And I'm going to clean off the needle in my air gun real quick because it has some weird noises going on. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to push down because it's a dual action. Push down, it's just air, push back, and that's how you get the paint. I'm just going to use the air to kind of dry this off. That way it doesn't smear anything or run with another paint that I'm trying to use. I'm going to go ahead and give it a touch feel. Feels pretty good, but I'm going to hit it one more time. And the reason being is because I think I'm going to put a lateral line on this lure, and I'm going to have to do that by using tape. And I don't want the paint coming off with the tape, even though it's painter's tape. You just never know. Better safe than sorry. So I'm going to go ahead and get my little cutting board and my X-Acto knife. And scoot that back. I'm going to lay this down here like this. I don't know if you can see this or not, but lay it down just like this. Just gonna kind of slice it right in the middle here. Chop the ends off, make them a little bit more clean. And then what I'm gonna do is go from the inside, since it's the wavy line, and peel it up like that, so I can take the crisp edge from the outside and use that as my line. And I'm just going to place it on my lure, and then I'm going to grab the other one and do the same thing to create the size of the line that I want. And while I'm doing that, I'm kind of eyeballing where I have this going for when I do the other side as well. And I want to have somewhat of a taper towards the back. So what we're looking at is that basically right off the corner of the eye here, coming out and tapering down towards the tail. So I'm going to move the X-Acto knife, tape, and cutting board. I'm going to bring this back, and I'm going to get out my Wiki Createx Pearlized Gold. I'm also going to put a little bit of 412 reducer in there just because this is a little bit thicker than the Wicked. Brand new too. First time using this color. So I'm going to do like 2 drops and 1 drop of reducer. Mix it up with this little tool I got from the Dollar Tree. Then we're going to go ahead and do the line. So we're going to take it and we're going to spray that gold. And we'll go back and forth until it's very pronounced. And that looks pretty pronounced to me. So I'm actually going to clear out the gun so I can use the air to dry that. Actually, I got no splatter coming out the tip of it. There's no pin at the end, so I'm just going to go ahead and use the air. All right. So then, just peel this off. Well, a nice clean line. And I'm just going to repeat the same process with the same tape on the other side. And that's what we got right now. Let's get a little bit more gold in there. And the same process. Maybe. I'm going to dry that off. All right, now that that's all dry, we're going to peel these off and we're done with the tape. And as you can see, we've got a nice lateral line on both sides of that lure now. We're going to clean this gun out and then we're going to get our next color. Alright, now that I got the brush clean, we're back. And I think I know exactly what I'm going to do with this. So if anybody has seen my episode where it was New Lake Little Jerkbait. That white yellow line with the black shad dot and the black top, that thing just, it did really, really well. So that's what I'm going to do with this lure. Something quick and easy. I called it the Khalifa Shad because it's black and yellow, and I think that's the perfect thing to go with this lure. So then we're just going to go black right on the back here. And the paint I'm using here is a Barlow Model Air. It's already airbrush ready, and I mean, it just goes on really, really nicely. I'm gonna hit these eye ports. Then we're going to put 2 more drops of it in there because you don't really need a lot with this. I'm going to grab this little piece of stencil here that I got from my stencil off of Whitmore Farms, and we're going to put this dot, if I still get attacked by tape, we're going to use the biggest dot, and we're going to put it kind of right where the crest of this body of this lure is. I'm just going to hit it really lightly so I don't overspray, and there we have it. We'll do the same thing on this side here. Right in the crest. And there we go. There it is. Dot 1, dot 2, right in the middle of the crest there. And then just give it a little bit of a darker nose here. There we go. A little bit of a darker nose. I left that gold shine still though in that nose. That's why I brought it all the way through there. Let's see. I think I may give it a little bit of a gill plate as well. A little tiny guy. Right at the base underneath the gold. Just like so. A tiny little gill mark. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I absolutely love these stencils. They change the way that I paint for sure. There's the gold. Just hug it right underneath the gold there. Hit it, and boom, there it is. Except I messed up on that one. Where I sprayed that, I sprayed it actually on the actual gill mark. So what we're going to do is we're going to take my little trusty dusty Q-tip I got over here, and we're going to put a little bit of water on the end of that, and I'm just going to try to get that off of here. Real slight. Alright, so I cleared it off some. I'm still going to put this where it should be, just because I don't want to botch this side too bad. And then I'm going to just hit that spot over with some white. Alright, so when we left off, GoPro died at the time that I was trying to fix the gills on this little guy. So I recharged GoPro for a little bit, and what you didn't see is I just went with a little bit bigger of a size, and I kind of filled in the smaller one, covered that up, and just went with a slightly bigger one that overlapped that gold lateral line just a hair. And that kind of made it look a lot better. And then I took a little bit of pearl white and gave it that little dot just to kind of offset it and make it look a little bit nicer. Now I'm gonna finish this lure off, because I mean, this is basically it. That's all I want to do to it. It's just replicating the Khalifa Shad, only instead of yellow I went with gold. And again, that's from the New Lake Little Jerkbait video that I did. So I'm going to put some silver prismatic eyes on here. Just a tiny, tiny drop of this glue. Otherwise it goes over the eye and it just gunks it all up, and the epoxy doesn't play very nicely with it. And I think I'm going to want it looking down. Yeah, I like it. Now to just repeat on the other side. And place it looking down, so it looks like it's hunting. Searching for food. And there we have it. All that's left to do is epoxy. I'm not going to do that in this video. I'll do that in future videos. This is kind of just a test to see how this actually went with me actually painting. I have to figure out better ways to put the camera, where I can put the camera, if I'm going to like mount it on my chest instead of the tripod that I have it on. But we'll go ahead and take the tape off as well. Everything's dry paint wise. And there we have it. That is the Khalifa Shad. Can't wait to get it epoxied. And I'm not going to add any glitter to it or anything like that. I noticed this little line here and here, and that's from my stencil. I should have hit it at a different angle. And that's one thing that I'm going to strive to do too. Like, as I'm painting, since I'm new to this and I'm learning, if I do something that I can prevent myself from or somebody else doing in the future, I'm definitely going to point that out. So instead of hitting it at an angle, I should have sprayed it straight on with the light air that I was using to have it gradually come out, and then I wouldn't have got this little line here. But I mean, the line doesn't really throw it off. It doesn't look horrible. And yeah, overall I'm fairly impressed with this. I'm getting better and better with the airbrush all the time, and this one was more of like a simple pattern, but this goes to show that you can even, you know, slip up on simple patterns. So if you like this video, please leave a like on here. Consider subscribing to the channel. I'd appreciate it if you joined along for the adventures, not only doing the lure paintings and unboxings, but back on the water here soon, hopefully. And leave some comments. Is there anything you'd like to see me paint? Any tips, tricks that you might have that might help me out? You know, I love talking to everybody who wants to engage in conversation with me, and I'll comment back, or at least if I'm busy, I'll at least make sure that I leave a heart on every comment. So, as always, thanks for sticking with me, and I will catch you all later.